It is this magic moment, the post-game recap here on 1010 XL Magic. RJ Saunders here with you. We once again appreciate you guys being here with us. The comeback kids is what I am calling them when it comes to their game against the Utah Jazz, as the Magic overcome a 17-point deficit to defeat Utah by a final score of 120 to 117. Paolo Banchero, your high point man for the Magic, with 23 points. Pitching in 22 for Orlando would be that of Desmond Bane, and registering 21 points would be Anthony Black. But the MVP would only score 13 and 8, and we'll get to that in a moment. If you are new to the channel, we do welcome you. We also ask for you to like and subscribe to 1010XL Magic. We got a lot of great things coming down the pipeline. We don't want for you guys to miss out on a thing. The word of the day when it comes to the Magic in this comeback victory was that of resiliency, because it took all 48 minutes for them to etch out a win against Utah. Many others would also say it did take for Will Hardy and the Utah Jazz not to play Jusuf Nurkic, Lauri Markkanen, and Jaren Jackson Jr., but they still have professionals on the basketball court, no matter who was on or off of the floor. Big win for the Orlando Magic. Started off the game very solidly, did a great job having their defense dictate what they were going to do offensively. They created 6 turnovers to start, 12 points off of those turnovers. Shot also solidly, in my opinion. You shoot 43% from the field, 41% from long distance. Find yourself up 3 going in to the second period. Even with Lauri Markkanen, he was getting cooking there a little bit for the Utah Jazz. I believe had 13 points to start off the game for the opponents. Then you get into that second quarter. This is where everything got quite rocky, in my opinion, and you find yourself putting your face in your hands. You're giving yourself a lot of eye rolls as well. You're just wondering what is going on, because the offensive rhythm didn't sputter. It just went ice cold for the Magic. And I understand, as Magic fans, you are wanting to see this team do a lot better on the offensive end. And when you see performances in which they had in that second quarter, it may bring up just traumatic memories for you, because we've seen that so much here in the first half of the regular season, and you're hoping that they can correct it if they are the Orlando Magic. You shoot 1 of 11 from downtown in the second quarter after hitting 5 of 12 to start off the game. Utah is out rebounding you. Utah finishes on a 14-4 run. Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr., who may be a duo now for the next couple of years that teams have to answer for when it comes to this young ball club, you're starting to let them cook. And Isaiah Collier is also now getting into the fray as well. Kevin Love was able to do just a bit of damage. They're getting a lot of backdoor scoring opportunities. The Utah Jazz it was really looking ugly there, as now you find yourself in a double-digit hole. 65-54 would be your score going into the halftime locker room. But it's 48 minutes of play. Even though you're asking yourself what in the hell is going on if you are the Orlando Magic. And I saw a lot on Orlando Magic Twitter of guys talking about, man, we need to turn off the game. Same old Magic, fire Coach Mosley, this, that, and the third. And it seemed to me going into the third quarter, a lot of the same slow start for the Magic. A lot of the ways in which they had that slow offensive rhythm not being there, not being able to knock down shots, and Utah being able to have their way was really rearing its ugly head when we got into the third quarter. Jaren Jackson Jr. knocks down the transition 3. You're now up 17 if you're the Utah Jazz. Timeout Coach Mosley and the Orlando Magic. And now here you are as Magic fans. You could hear the room. A lot of muttering, a lot of head rolls, a lot of eye rolls, a lot of, here we go again. And I myself, although being a press member there and not having to be a fan and not really being allowed to be a fan, you got to show a level of professionalism when you are there. I am a fan of this team. I do want to see them do well, and to see them not being able to have any sort of spark or energy in the early half of that third quarter, going into halftime and getting into that third quarter, it's very disheartening. very saddening because you do want to see this team end off the first half of this regular season on a good note as we continue to look for guys such as Franz Wagner to get healthy, get him in the rotation, maybe seeing Javon Carter, seeing what he's going to be able to do for the Magic as well. Maybe just get some level of being able to take a deep breath if you're the Orlando Magic and saying now we have some sort of consistency here that we can get into going into the second half of the season because we finished out the first half on such a positive note. We weren't able to see that in the beginning of that third quarter. Enter in Mo Wagner. 13 points, 8 assists, but the way in which he played, you would have thought that he led the team in scoring, but he certainly led it with his energy. You saw him imploring the crowd. Anytime that he was getting a rebound or really hustling out there on the floor, he's looking to his bench, clapping his hands, really wanting his guys to get back into the game and saying, listen, hey, this game isn't over yet. It's a 48-minute game, and he's totally right about that. And Orlando goes on a 10-0 run because of that energy, goes on a 10-0 run in the final minute and a half of that third quarter. You now find yourself being able to get into a manageable disadvantage to try to get back into the contest. I did find it rather scary when they did take out Mo Wagner, put back in Wendell Carter Jr. I just believe that Mo Wagner's energy was the catalyst for the Orlando Magic to get back into the game. But if you understand anything about basketball, honestly, if you understand anything in life, energy is infectious. And the energy was certainly from Mo Wagner being implemented into the rest of his teammates. Now, in the fourth quarter as well, you don't see Jusuf Nurkic, you don't see Lauri Markkanen or Jaren Jackson Jr. But again, you got professionals on the basketball court. You did see Ace Bailey. He was trying to win the contest for the Utah Jazz. You also saw that of Isaiah Collier as well, trying to get after it and win a game. So although they may be trying to keep their pick in the months to come once we get to the NBA draft lottery, a few of those young guys, they weren't caring about that draft pick coming down the line for the Utah Jazz. They want to win games right now. Who doesn't want to win in the NBA? But Mo Wagner and Jalen Suggs, I really do have to give a lot of credence to here, because when it comes to the identity of the Orlando Magic being that hard nose, we play defense, we bring high energy, those are the two guys that define it best. And without those two, we've seen it throughout the first half of this regular season. It's very hard for the Orlando Magic really to get anything going when they do not have those two guys. I understand Jalen Suggs is one of your franchise cornerstones, but when you look at your franchise pieces, Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, those guys do great things for this Orlando Magic team. And if the Magic are going to go anywhere in terms of winning championships or having deep playoff runs, you're going to need those two. But just as badly as you need those two, you need Jalen Suggs, and you also need Mo Wagner, and they showed you why in this game against the Utah Jazz. So even if Utah had sat everyone in that game going into the fourth quarter, if Mo Wagner's not in that game for the Orlando Magic and giving them that energy and giving them that spark, I don't care who Utah would have had in that game. Orlando was not going to come back to win it. Their defense also turned into offense. We talked about that earlier in this video. The Magic scored 39 points off of 24 turnovers, 23 of which would be coming after halftime. So as much as we have harbored about this team didn't make any major moves after the trade deadline, Jeff Weltman's been a guy saying that, look, we need to get healthy here. We're going to evaluate everything, and then by the end of the season, we'll be able to make a decision on how we move forward with the team, maybe even with the coaching situation, even though he does say that this organization does have the back of Jamal Mosley. You're understanding that this is the team in which you are going to have good, bad, or indifferent, like it, love it, hate it. This is the team for the rest of the year. And what you wanted to see from this group is just positive play, resiliency in which you've seen from this Magic team, high energy, that never give up, never say die mentality that we saw. If they can do this again for 2 more games against the Milwaukee Bucks on the 9th and the 11th, You end the first half of the regular season on a 4-game winning streak. You wait for Franz Wagner to get healthy, probably comes back after All-Star, and you're saying that, listen, you feel really good about yourself going into the second half. In fact, I was able to talk about that with head coach Jamal Mosley pregame before tip-off against Utah.
Finishing on a positive note, before we go to the All-Star break, 3 more of these games, just kind of what is the overall message for the coaching staff to the team about, hey, let's finish this off on a strong note and take this positive energy to the second half?
You just said it. That's exactly it. And then, just focus in one game at a time. That's the biggest piece. You take care of Utah tonight, and then you look at Milwaukee on the back end. But for the real point is just take care of Utah tonight and take care of home.
Now, let's be honest here. I don't think that you want every game to be a comeback effort. Like I said, a win is a win, although a solid victory like this doesn't cover up the multitude of problems in which the Orlando Magic have. But to get wins such as this, to find a way to be resilient, because let's admit it, you need all of these wins now to get out of the play-in situation. This is a team that I have been saying all season long is better than what their record would indicate. And I feel that a lot of Orlando Magic fans and NBA fans would agree. If you are able now to get to a 4-game winning streak, going into All-Star, I think you have to feel really good about yourself going into the second half of the season, because this team can certainly be a top 4 to 5 seed within this Eastern Conference, a conference that, even though we're seeing teams at the top such as Boston, New York, Detroit, those being the top 3 teams there, I think it's still wide open, even with those 3 teams being as dominant as they have been in the first half of the regular season. Let's see what Orlando's able to do against their 2 final games against Milwaukee before the All-Star break, and then they put everything on the table and put the chips in front of them and let them fall where they may going into the second half of the year. That is going to do it for us here on this Magic Moment, the post-game recap show. Again, we do thank you for giving us a couple moments of your time. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as we continue to follow the Magic throughout the course of the regular season, and hopefully they turn this all around and make a deep playoff run, because the city of Orlando is certainly different when the Magic are on a roll. I'm RJ Saunders. Go Magic, and we will talk to you next week.